श्वासः प्रत्यारुसत् इन्द्रियः द्वष्टा रजसत्त्वतमो मलः
जितासनो जितश्वासः
प्रत्यारुसदिन्द्रियः द्वष्टा रजसत्त्वतमो मलः. Or towards translation, Jita asana, one who has controlled the sitting posture. Jita swasaha, one who has controlled the breathing process. Pratyarutaha, turning back. Sat, 6. Indriyaha, senses. Hari, the absolute personality of Godhead. Bhavanaya, absorbed in. Dvashta, conquered. Rajaha, passion. Sattva, goodness. Tamaha, ignorance. Malaha, contamination. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. One who has controlled the sitting postures, the yogic asanas, and the breathing process can turn the senses towards the absolute personality of Godhead and thus become immune to the contamination of the modes of material nature, namely mundane goodness, passion, and ignorance. Purport. The preliminary activities of the way of yoga are asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dhyana, dharana, etc. Maharaj Dhritarashtra was to attain success in those preliminary actions because he was seated in the sanctified place and was concentrating upon one object, namely the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari. Thus all his senses were being engaged in the service of the Lord. This process directly helps the devotees to get freedom from the contamination of the three material modes of nature. Even the highest mode, the material mode of goodness, is also a cause of material bondage. And what to speak of the other qualities, namely passion and ignorance. Passion and ignorance increases the material propensities of anchoring for material enjoyment, and a strong sense of lust provoking the accumulation of wealth and power. One who has conquered these two base mentalities and has raised himself to the platform of goodness, which is full of knowledge and morality, cannot also control the senses, namely the eyes, the tongue, the nose, the ears, and the touch. But one who has surrendered himself unto the lotus feet of Lord Hari, as above mentioned, can transcend all influences of the modes of material nature and be fixed in the service of the Lord. The Bhakti Yoga process therefore directly applies the senses to the loving service of the Lord. This prohibits the performer from engaging in material activities. This process of turning the senses from material attachment to the loving transcendental service of the Lord is called Pratyahara, and the very process is called Pranayama, ultimately ending in Samadhi or absorption in pleasing the Supreme Lord Hari by all means. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilatanena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapatakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagarjatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swami Iti Namine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravadi Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane वाञ्छाकल्पतरूपेश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Welcome to Sunday Srimad Bhagavatam class. Today we are discussing the first canto, 13th chapter. The chapter entitles Dhritarashtra quits home. So the summary of this chapter, like after the battlefield of Kurukshetra, so all the sons of Pandavas, Kurus, Kauravas, Dhritarashtra died, and now the Dhritarashtra is alone along with his wife, and they are staying. They have taken the shelter of Pandavas, the sons of Pandu, and now the Vidura comes to see what is happening in the kingdom. He went to Vidura. He had left before Kurukshetra war for Tirtha Yatra. And now he has came back to just to see, and also to instruct Dhritarashtra to leave home. Now the Dhritarashtra is shamelessly is staying in the house of the sons of Pandu. Why shamelessly? Because the Dhritarashtra is very envious of sons of Pandu, as we know, right? So he did what and all activities, what he did not do to kill them or to take away their property and all. Actually, we know from the story of Mahabharata, he tried to kill them by giving poison, putting fire on the house. Many things he has done. But he could not succeed. Finally, the war happened, and all the sons of Dhritarashtra died, and now again he has taken the shelter of the Pandavas. And now Vidura comes, and he chastises Dhritarashtra to leave home, and he instructs him that now you should leave the home. You are staying like a dog. You are staying like a dog in the other's house. You just leave your home and proceed for the spiritual perfection. So that is the story. And now the Dhritarashtra left home. After that, as soon as Dhritarashtra left home, the Yudhishthira Maharaj will be lamenting. He will be lamenting, oh no, why my uncle has left the house? Maybe I could not serve him properly, or he must have got offended because of my behavior. So that is the the heart of devotees actually. Even though there is no fault in his side, but he thinks, oh, maybe because of my fault, they must have left. So then the Narada Muni comes. Narada Muni appears in front of Yudhishthira Maharaj and try to pacify him. First he tried to pacify him by giving philosophical explanation how this material world is temporary, how one has to do is prescribed duties, varnashrama duties. So, and you are not the controller. It tells you are not the controller. They will go according to, they will achieve their destination according to their work. So, you not to worry, they say actually. And later on, he will tell that where the Dhritarashtra is actually. So, where the Dhritarashtra is and what he is doing. So, that Narada Muni is telling to Yudhishthira Maharaj now actually. So, and that has been explained in the shloka from 51 to rest of the chapter 60. So that is there in this one. So now Dhritarashtra left the home, and O king, your uncle Dhritarashtra, his brother Vidura and his wife Gandhari, all three have gone to the southern side of Himalaya mountains. Southern side of Himalaya mountains, where there are shelters of great sages. Then the place is called Sapta Shrota, divide of 7, because there the water of secret Ganges were divided into 7 branches. This was done for the satisfaction of the 7 great sages. So on the bank of, so now he is telling what he is doing, what Dhritarashtra is doing. On the bank of Sapta Shrota, Dhritarashtra is now engaged in beginning Ashtanga Yoga by bathing 3 times a day, daily 3 times in morning, noon and evening, by performing Agnihotra sacrifice with fire and by drinking only water. This helps one control the mind and the senses, free from completely the thoughts of familial affection. And now today's sloka that Narada Muni is explaining, one who has controlled the sitting posture, the yogic asanas, and the breathing process can turn the senses towards the absolute personality of Godhead and thus become immune to the contamination of modes of material nature, namely mundane goodness, passion and ignorance. Here, in previous sloka, now we come to know that what Dhritarashtra is doing. The Dhritarashtra is started his the Ashtanga Yoga process. He is there in Himalaya and he is sitting in a lonely place and he started this Ashtanga Yoga process. In the previous sloka purport, the Srila Prabhupada, in beginning only he tells actually this Ashtanga Yoga process is mechanical. It is not a natural act. In the beginning only it is a mechanical way to control the senses and the mind, to divert from matter to spirit. So there is 2 ways, descending process and ascending process actually. Descending process and ascending process means from bottom to up. Descending process means from top to down actually. So this Ashtanga Yoga process is a ascending process. It's not a descending process actually. So from the grass body to we go to settled body actually. But the Bhakti Yoga is not like that. We receive the instruction from the spiritual master in the mind and we take it into the heart. Then we started engaging our senses into the devotional service of the Lord. So that is the difference between Ashtanga Yoga and the Bhakti Yoga actually. So that's why it's called mechanical actually. And we are not doing willingly. We are, like it is like our, torturing our body. So the, Ashtanga means the 8 divisions. 8 divisions. Anga means the divisions actually. So there are many, like in the starting only Prabhupada mentions, that in the 54th. There are asana, pranayama, yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. There are 8 angas actually. So in this process, so yama, niyama, one don'ts and don'ts, one has to do this. You should follow this rules and regulation and doesn't follow those rules and regulation. Then asana is sitting posture actually. You just have to sit for a long time, So long time you sit, you are becoming, you will be situated. Then pranayama, then you have to control the breathing process actually. Why? Because our lifespan is controlled by our breathe. How many, it is fixed, how many times we breathe. Like suppose it is distant, like one person, I may breathe for 100,000 times. So to achieve the supreme goal of Ashtanga Yoga, the long lifespan is required actually. For that they have to control the breathing actually. Then pratyahara. Pratyahara means withdraw his senses from doing worldly activities actually. You should not do any activities. So that is, now in this sloka, the Dhritarashtra is trying to do this process actually, where he is trying to sit, asana, and is trying to control the, he started this breathing process, pranayama, and trying to do pratyahara. Correct? Then comes this one, dharana and dhyana and samadhi. These are all in a subtle dharana. Where in dharana we try to concentrate on mind. Dhyana means we try to concentrate on the spirit soul and try to this one realize the super soul. Then samadhi. Then we will leave this body. Then we will use this body once we come to the stage of samadhi. samadhi. But for all this, to go beyond this material world, to come to the stage of samadhi, this dhyana is required actually. This dhyana is required actually. What means dhyana? Anybody tell what is dhyana? Connecting to Supreme. That is yoga, meaning of yoga, you can say. Meditating on Lord. Meditating on Lord. Mainly dhyana means meditation in general. In general, dhyana means meditation. Sitting in one place and do meditation actually. Correct. But the modern people, they have spoiled the name of dhyana itself actually. So where dhyana means like as we see, the Yudhishthira Maharaj, he went to Himalaya, lonely place, and he's sitting and he is doing dhyana. But nowadays, the modern people, many organizations, they tell that dhyana and they'll bring everybody together. You sit for, as we call, for the feast, you come and eat. For program we go, you come and eat together. Like that, they'll call, you come together, sit for some 15 minutes, half an hour, and you do dhyana actually. This is not dhyana actually. Dhyana should be done in a lonely place without getting any disturbance. So that is dhyana actually. And what is the goal of dhyana? And also this dhyana process has been if you see Bhagavad Gita, the 6th chapter, the way Lord Krishna explains all this Ashtanga yoga process actually. This yama, niyama, pranayama, what are the things we have to do, like how we have to sit, how we have to breathe, what are all the rules and regulations we have to follow. Everything he follows. And finally what Arjuna says, Chanchalami mana Krishna. So it is very difficult to it's very difficult to control the mind and the senses. Then what he says, it's very strong, it's restless. I can it's very difficult to control the air actually. That means we can control the air, but we cannot control the mind, he says actually. Correct. So who is Arjuna actually? He is a great warrior. And he is also a great tapasvi. If he is, you hear the pastimes of Arjuna, he is a great tapasvi. He, in the 5,000 years back, he himself is telling that it is very difficult to control the mind and control the senses, to practice this process actually. And nowadays people are telling, they are promoting this, dhyana yoga in many ways actually. In many ways actually. That's why then later on what Krishna says, so Arjuna, please don't worry. Yoginam api sarvesham madgatar antaratmanaha. So among all the yogis, who is the best yogi? Is the bhakti yogi who always think of me, engage in my devotional service. Think in the core of always he think about me and always engage in my devotional service. So he is the real yogi. And he says, according to me, he is the best. He is the best, he says actually. So, that's why he tells actually, you engage in my activity actually. Then you will become a real yogi actually. Then you will become a real yogi. So, that's why we have to understand what is the goal of dhyana actually. What is the goal of dhyana? Can anybody tell?
To unite the mind.
Okay, what is meaning of the dhyana actually? Real dhyana. After knowing this sloka. After knowing this sloka of yoga, means Krishna tells, he is the best yogi. So what is the meaning of dhyana here then?
Those who fix their mind in Supreme and those who are surrendered to Supreme.
Yes, those who fix their mind, those who always, their consciousness is always on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is called dhyana actually. And how to do that dhyana? So each and every activity should be engaged for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then only we can remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead actually. Otherwise it is not possible. Why? Because our mind is restless and we cannot concentrate even for one moment also. That's why what is the process? That always engage in the service of the Lord, for the pleasure of the Lord. there's Krishnarte Akila Chesta. Krishnarte Akila Chesta. Actually, you do whatever action you do for the pleasure of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Actually, that is it. But in general, why then this? In general, what dhyana is, you just sit for long time and don't do anything. Actually, that is the even Shastra also tell. Actually, you just sit and don't do any actions. That is we consider as dhyana in general. Actually, why that dhyana is there? Because our acharyas tells this example. If a child is restless and he is doing all mischievous things, what we tell actually? We just tell, you just sit, don't do anything. Correct, no? But if a child is very obedient to the parents, and if a parent says, my dear son, bring 1 glass of water, switch off this fan, serve your father, or help me in kitchen, all these things if you tell, and if he is following, then why we have to tell him to sit actually? Correct? So he is doing better than just by sitting actually. Correct, no? He is doing better activity just by than sitting simply actually. That's what this many people they say they go for this Maunarata also.
Yes.
They go for Maunarata and like they say, if you ask them why you are not speaking, no, I am in Maunarata, and that also they cannot tell actually. They will do some action actually, correct, no? And many yogis and babas, they say, our guru is a yogi, is a great yogi, he is there in Maunarata for a long time, for 12 years, 13 years. That is good one sense actually. The Maunarata, why it is good? Because if you don't know how to talk so that you can benefit yourself and the society, then better to be a Mauna. Better to be a Mauna actually, instead of speaking all nonsense things actually. Correct, no? Instead of speaking all nonsense things and spoiling the society, better to be a Mauna actually. So according to that yogi is the best compared to worldly people actually. But in Krishna consciousness also, we also promote the Mauna Rata actually. What is Mauna Rata? Real Mauna Rata is that speaking only about Krishna, not speaking anything other than Krishna actually. We also tell that everybody should, each and every living being, each and every devotee should be in the Maunarata. How? They can speak only about the Krishna. They can speak about Bhagavatam. They can speak about Bhagavad Gita. They can speak about what Krishna's pastime, everything. We also tell that you be Maunarata. Correct, no? In this way, we tell them that you engage in real Maunarata actually, real Maunarata. That's what the real dhyana means. How we can come to the real dhyana platform means once we engage in Krishna consciousness, the activities of Krishna only for the sake of pleasure of Krishna, then we will be in the real dhyana actually. Otherwise, it is just like a frog. Frog always barking, without any reason, without any meaning, and finally what happens? Then the snake will hear that voice. Then in the time of Kala Sarpa will come and devour our life actually. That is what happened to this one. What is that? The worldly people actually. Worldly people. That's what, suppose if you are able to benefit the society and yourself by your action, by your by your action and by your speech, then why you should sit simply or go for Maunarata? So you should engage. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, what is that? Karati avashya karma. Everybody is bound to work. They cannot sit idly. So nobody can sit idly simply actually. Everybody is bound to work. And these material activities, whatever we are doing, it bounds in reaction of birth and death actually. It creates the result. Whether it is bad or good, both are bad only according to Krishna consciousness. Both are bad. again we will take birth, again we will take, means we will become old age, we will get birth, again we will get into the cycle of birth and death. Correct. So, we by doing dhyana means engaging ourselves in the pleasure of Krishna. So we come out of this material world. We come out of this material world. Not just by simply sitting, we cannot come out. That is difficult, as Arjuna says, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So we have to engage. Bhajate. Bhajate means generally people will think. In English term also, bhajate means some worship kind of thing. But it's not worship. Bhajate means with the core of heart you serve. You serve particular person. So you serve. Then we will come out of this cycle of birth and death. Then we will come to the platform of mukti. So those who are engaged in the directly serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so they need not to do this Ashtanga yoga process. They need not to do any Ashtanga yoga process or sitting idly or meditating on Supreme Personality. Already he is engaged. Already he is engaged in the service of the Lord. This is for the whom they don't like to do any material activities. Neither they don't have any knowledge of spiritual activities. For them, this dhyana yoga is there, Ashtanga yoga is there actually. Not for everybody actually. They doesn't like to do any material activities. That is good. And they don't have knowledge of the Supreme, the Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So for them, and they don't like to do devotional service. For them, this kind of yoga is mentioned actually. It is mentioned by Krishna only, But Arjuna rejects. He tells, no, you cannot do actually. Then what Krishna tells actually, that you fight. Mamanusmara yuddhacha. Mamanusmara. You fight by remembering me. You do action by remembering me actually. You act according to me. Correct. So incorrect. But many people, what they think, the spiritual activities are all the activities of inertia. Where the person will, go into the stage where there is no work only actually. And they think that it's like a personal business. It is not related to anybody else. But the bhakti, the process is related to each and every living entities. Then only when understanding this concept and try to engage in the devotion service, then only come to the platform of mukti. So what mukti? In general, mukti means what? What is a mukti in general?
Attaining Godhead. Attaining Godhead.
Attaining?
Godhead.
Okay, attaining Godhead.
Coming out of birth and death cycle.
Relieving from the material world.
Material bondage. Okay. Ready? Okay. In general, they say that mukti is coming out of the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. Actually, so I have this body. I got stuck inside the body. So I have to come out of this material body. That is called mukti. They say actually. Correct? No? But in the Acharya says that mukti hitva anyata swarupena vyavasthiti. Actually. So what is the mukti? Mukti means you have to give up all your material designation. All your material designation. Act according to your spiritual designation, real designation actually. What is the real designation of a jiva? Jivera Swarupaya Krishnera Nityadas. He is the servant of Krishna. He is the servant of Krishna. His duty is to serve Krishna. When he act according to his original constitutional position, then he is already liberated. Even though he is in present material body, he is already liberated actually. Why? Because he is engaging in the constitutional position of the jiva actually. Jiva. So many people they say actually, many people they see externally, mukti means when he passed away only he attained a mukti actually. No, the devotees of the Lord, when they are in the present in the body, that time only they are liberated. That's why they are liberated souls actually. Why? Because they are not acting according to any material conception. Like, but in general, what people will do, like each and every action, whatever they are eating, whatever they are doing, touching, smelling, they're all material activities. They think materially also. They think materially only actually. Like if they see a boy, see girl, what they see actually, oh, what they think, oh, he's a woman, I am a man. If they see any food stuff, oh, it is very tasty, and the tongue also demands, means it is meant to enjoy by my tongue, they say actually. Correct, no? So whatever the karmis they see, they're all in a material platform actually, not the spiritual platform. If a devotee, my understanding is original platform, original nature, he engages in the spiritual activity actually. And that means he is already liberated. As soon as one engages in spiritual activity fully for the sake of pleasure of Krishna, then he is already liberated, we should consider actually. That's why devotional service is always transcendental. It is not material. It is not material. It is not material. That's why this yoga process, whatever the Ashtanga yoga process, it is all, it's very difficult. It is not meant for the conditions or like us. And it is not even meant for even general, means all the living entity. As we told, it is meant for the people who doesn't have knowledge about the absolute truth. Who doesn't have knowledge about the absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For them, this process, and it is very dangerous. The Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna asked that, what, if you fall down in this yoga, when we are performing in this yoga, if you fall down, what will happen? Then Krishna will tell, no need to worry. In the next life, you will get a nice birth. Where you will continue your devotional service. From that stage actually, and we will give a nice birth, where you can take birth in a very devotee family, Suchinam Shimatam, or a rich family, where you not to work for the sake of maintaining yourself, where you can always engage in Krishna consciousness. That environment will give, and you can continue. But in Ashtanga process, it is not like that actually. So even if you go to the 7th stage, and if you fall down, again you have to start from the beginning. Actually. And it is torturous to the body. It is torturous to the body, torture to mind. It's not natural. It is not natural actually. So very rarely one can achieve the perfection in the this one Ashtanga yoga actually. Very rare. That's what our Acharya says actually. Among many yogis, if one is a devotee, he is the best, they say. Why? Because directly he is engaging himself in the service of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Understand, no? So that's what, the Prabhupada is telling actually. One has to come to ultimately one has to come to the stage of Samadhi, where you can come to the stage of complete dhyana, absorption in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari. So that stage one has to come. But we can see that Dhritarashtra is so attached to his family life. He is so attached to his family life. He didn't leave the home. Even after his sons died, everybody died. So he has taken the shelter of Pandavas, and he is just saying, he's just staying there without any shame. That's what Prabhupada very strongly says in this chapter actually. The human form of life is meant to serve the Lord actually. This human form of life is meant to serve the Lord. For that, the Varnashrama system has given. So each and every people, they have to act according to the Varna and Ashrama actually. So there are 4 ashramas, spiritual stages actually. Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyas. So this in Kali Yuga maximum we can live 100 years. These 4 stages are divided into 25, 25, 25 actually. But Dhritarashtra was in Vanaprastha stage. Dhritarashtra was in Vanaprastha stage. He already crossed, like in there is in English, there is an odd word. Have you heard odd word? So odd word means they'll give 3 fruits name and 1 flower name actually, which is the odd one actually. The rejected word actually. It's a flower name actually. It's not the similar. In the same way, like 5,000 years back, everybody was following the system of Varnashrama. And everybody was, they used to follow according to the scriptures actually. But only the Dhritarashtra was staying in the home. He doesn't want to leave his kingdom. That's what Dhritarashtra name itself says. Dhritarashtra very strongly is attached to his kingdom. So he is an odd person actually. He is an odd person. Somehow or other he has to, Vidura came, and because of Vidura is a great devotee of the Lord, because of Vidura's instruction, he has to leave the home actually. He has to leave the home. But nowadays, the Prabhupada says that nowadays in each and every home there are Dhritarashtras. Very strongly he says actually. There are each and every home there are Dhritarashtra. So what will happen if you don't act according to the scriptures? Like suppose the time came to practice spirituality, means completely. Practicing spirituality should be there for everybody in each and every life. The children should go to Gurukula and practice Krishna consciousness and study Shastra up to age of 25 years. Then if they want to continue, they can continue as an Naistika Brahmachari, or if they can take Grihastha Ashram, they can come to Grihastha Ashram, maintain family, produce children for the welfare of the society, and practice devotion service. May not be fully, practice devotion service, but in the Vanaprastha stage, they have to dedicate fully in the Krishna consciousness actually. That is the stage where they can retire their material activities and hand over their responsibility to their children. Are the matured people in the family. They should engage in the spiritual activity. That is the process. But if you don't do this process, what will happen? Forcefully we have to go out of the home. That is what is happening in the society actually. There are, you can see many ashramas. They say Rudra Ashrama or Vanaprastha Ashrama also. They say Vanaprastha Ashrama only. In Vanaprastha Ashrama, so there will be playing all sports, watching TV, chit-chatting, and they will be telling about their son, daughter-in-law story, how they are torturing, how they are not taking care, all these things actually. All these things. In this way, they lead their life actually. So if you don't act according to the system of Krishna, then we are forced to go out, we are forced to suffer. So that's why each and every the living being, each and every devotee, they should come out of the home and they should surrender to Krishna, depend only on Krishna, try to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Otherwise they are bound to go out. And they are bound to go out in the sense it is very torturous to the mind and body actually, because they are not in the proper realization. Many people, they will come, they say that my son is like this, he is not taking care, my daughter-in-law is like this, I have given them everything. But you have given them everything, but you have to give up them also. Then you will be happy. Correct, no? That's what, there are many words in the Shastra also. Like Sanskrit words, they will turn into this one. What is that? Like as I told, this Vanaprastha Ashrama. Vanaprastha Ashrama means nowadays what? That staying in out of the house where group of old people will be there, stay among with them and lead your life actually. So, but Vanaprastha Ashrama is not like, the real meaning of Vanaprastha Ashrama is not this. The real meaning of Vanaprastha Ashrama is that you can travel to spiritual places, associate with sadhus, engage yourself in the service of Dham, service of devotees. That is Vanaprastha Ashrama. Correct? In the same way, many words they have, like this Upadhyaya. Upadhyaya, the Yajamani. The Yajamani means means what? Yajamani means one who do yajna. One who does yajna actually. One who like arranges everything. He is the owner of yajna actually. So he will be sitting at the asana and he will call Ritviks and he does yajna through them actually. It's called Yajamani. But now Yajamani means what? He is the owner of house, owner of building. This kind of, all the spiritual connected words, they all come, turn into material connected words actually. In this way, Upadhyaya. Upadhyaya means what? One who teaches the Yajamani to how to do yajna actually. You do this, you put flower now, you say, you put particular things, you circumambulate like this. So they are called Upadhyaya actually. Upadhyaya actually. So in the same way, the Udyoga also. Udyoga means what? Nowadays, contest.
Working in a company.
Udyoga means one who is working. They say actually. Udyogam Purusha Lakshanam they say. Udyogam Purusha Lakshanam they say. If you are working means, this is a Lakshana of Purusha actually, men actually. But Udyoga means not this actually. Udyoga means you do the higher, Uttama yoga, you do the better activities. This is called Udyoga actually. But the term has converted into a material word actually. In the same way, like many people, I have seen that many people, they, behind these astrologers, that, is there any Raja Yoga in my chart? Correct, no? Is there any Raja Yoga in my chart actually? Many people say, yes, that real astrologer we should say actually, yes. Raja Yoga is there in each and everyone's chart. What is real Raja Yoga? Raja Yoga means the nowadays contest. So you will enjoy the luxurious life like a king actually. You will have a good amount of wealth. You will have servants, servants to help you in your activities. This is called Raja Yoga actually. And you will have nice bhoga, means food stuff. This is called Raja Yoga in material terms. But real Raja Yoga means what Acharya says. Real Raja Yoga is depending on anybody, without depending on anybody, only depending on the Supreme Personality of God. And if you live a life, that is called Raja Yoga actually. Depending only on the Supreme Personality of God, and if you are living a life, then it is a Raja Yoga. It is not that according to your karma you will enjoy your good activities, good results. That is not called Raja Yoga actually. So already in our ashram there are many people who are already enjoying Raja Yoga. They are preparing for Raja Yoga now. But those who are that Raja Yoga is there, but they are not able to enjoy the Raja Yoga actually now. They are not prepared to Raja Yoga. But one has to come to the platform of getting this yoga, Raja Yoga actually. So you should not stick to the worldly life, sitting only in the home or depending only on the relatives, sons, family life. So because of this, what will happen? Again we have to take birth, death, old age, disease. Again we have to continue in this life actually. The Krishna may say that if you practice devotion service from next life, you will continue with this one. What is that? Wherever we have left. But we don't know. Like we can see that Krishna says Shuchinam Shimatam. Shuchina means Brahmana family or devotee family. Or Shimatam Dehi will give a birth in a rich family where you will not struggle for material existence. Correct, no? But what is the guarantee that we will not get bewildered even after taking birth in these two families actually? Like we can see so many rich families. What the children are doing now, especially most of the richest people, they are there in Bangalore, city like Bangalore, Delhi and all actually. Correct, no? But are they practicing devotion service? Are they coming to the path of devotion service? No. Many Brahmana, children, they are taking a birth in a Brahmana family. Are they practicing devotion service fully? No. They may become smartas. They may become Mayavadis by the influence of Maya. They may get deviated. They may speak against all the the thinkers, they are mostly Brahmanas actually. You can see in Tamil, Jaddi Krishnamurti, in Kannada, many people are there actually. They are all big Brahmanas, but they speak against the Shastras, they reject Shastras, they manipulate Shastra according to their own way actually. They condemned the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They condemn Krishna, they condemn Rama. Who are they? They are all Brahmanas actually. So the Maya can act Maya can act anytime like anything. So we have to be very serious in this lifetime. We should not be like Dhritarashtra, sticking to home or depending only on family members or sons or something. We should only depend on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We should only depend on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then we can come out of this material world actually. Then we can come out of this material world. That is the aim of goal. That is the aim of goal. In this way, Dhritarashtra finally he achieves the Samadhi and he goes to Brahma Jyoti actually. He goes to Brahma Jyoti and he goes to Brahma Jyoti. But if he practice devotion, he had a good chance to practice pure devotional service because devotees were there surrounded to him actually, because Pandavas are very great devotees and Krishna is there, Vidura was there as his brother, Bhishma was there. He was all surrounded by devotees only. Devotees only. And Krishna himself was there in his time. So he had a great chance to practice devotional service, especially pure devotional service. But because of his strong attachment to his sons and the kingdom, so he neglected the great opportunity. There is one what is that example? How there is one good example, I heard from the devotees. There is, I'll just tell whatever I remember. There may be a mistake in this also. There is a great, this one, what is that? Okay, I forgot actually that one. But if you miss this form of life, definitely it's very difficult to go back to Godhead. Anyway, by the mercy of Vidura, Dhritarashtra, he got a chance to at least to go to the platform of this one, Brahma Jyoti. But we are more fortunate than the Dhritarashtra. Because of the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we came to the platform of devotional service. Recently we were discussing Venumada Prabhu and all in the base we were discussing that pastime of Prabhupada, and his disciples asked him actually, so Prabhupada, what punya we have done to come to the platform of pure devotional service to associate with you actually. No, you have not done any punya actually. I have created punya in you actually. I have given that punya to you. So this is the mercy of the Lord. This is the mercy of devotees like Vidura. How Vidura has shown mercy on Dhritarashtra. So we have got mercy from the many devotees, many disciples of Srila Prabhupada, Krishna himself, like that actually. So if we without understanding this mercy, and we just stick to this part-time devotional service, so it is not so safe. It is not so safe. It may be good, okay, at least, instead of engaging fully as a karmi, you are doing devotional service, that is good. But we should come to the platform of fully surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Until unless come to the surrender of Samadhi, means stage of Samadhi, it is very difficult to come out of these three modes of material nature. That's what Prabhupada says, that even like one should come to come out of this mundane modes, namely goodness, passion, ignorance. Correct. So, because of passion and ignorance, ignorance will hanker for the material enjoyment, and in the passion, strong senses of lust provokes to accumulate wealth and power. Correct. In the goodness, we'll come to the knowledge. Goodness will come to the platform of knowledge. But even in goodness also, even goodness also is a material mode. So that's what Prabhupada says here actually, clearly. One who has conquered, I see, with a full knowledge and morality. Yeah, one who has conquered these two base material mentalities and has raised himself to the platform of goodness, which is full of knowledge and morality, cannot also control the senses. Cannot also control the senses, namely the eyes, the tongue, the nose, ears, touch. So even if you come to the mode of goodness, it's very difficult to control the senses unless until you engage in devotional service of the Lord. Rishikena Rishikesa Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. So you engage your Rishika senses in the service of the Rishikesha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then you can come to the platform of, you can transcend this material modes. Otherwise it is not possible. So that's why in the last paragraph, the Prabhupada is saying, the Bhakti Yoga process, therefore, directly applies the senses to the loving service of the Lord. This prohibits the performance from engaging material activities. So what we'll do when we engage in the devotional service of the Lord, what we know, we'll first of all we'll stop this karma bandhana. This process, turning the sense from material attachment to the loving transcendental loving service of the Lord, is called pratyahara, seizing all the senses from worldly activities. And very process is called pranayama, ultimately ending in samadhi or absorption in the pleasing the Supreme Lord Hari by all means. So this is how we can achieve ultimate perfection of a human form of life. That is transcendental loving service of the Lord. That is it. By this I end class. Any comments, corrections, questions?
I have one question. Yes. So Vidura is devotee of the Lord, correct? And thus whatever has happened this episode, this fight, okay, Kurukshetra War, the age belongs to, if I am not wrong, it's Dwapar Yuga, right? Correct? So he is also Vidura also Lord devotee only. But why he is not recommended to Rashtra as per the Yuga Dharma, of Dwapar Yuga, but he is recommended for this Ashtanga Yoga. So what is the reason behind it? Why Dhritarashtra has taken Ashtanga rather than Yuga Dharma?
Yes. In the last shloka, the Prabhupada mentions that, that even though Vidura is a great devotee, the purpose of dharma of yuga, different yuga, different dharmas are there. The purpose of dharma means yuga dharma is to always all the yuga dharma is always remembering the Lord and engaging in his service actually. Right? That's what the Vidura was doing. Actually. But here Prabhupada mentions, because the Dhritarashtra was too much materialistic. And he offended the great devotees of the Lord, Pandavas. So he could not come to the stage of pure devotional service actually. At least by the mercy of Vidura, at least he went to the stage of Ashtanga Yoga. If he would not have offended the Pandavas, he came to because who goes to the Brahmajyoti? Those who offend the Lord or offend the devotees of the Lord actually. How they offend the Lord? They say that God has no form. God has no form, no hand, he is formless, and I am also God. So after performing this one, what is that? Means they completely they reject the pastimes of the Lord, form of the Lord actually. The pastimes of the Lord, the Lord perform pastimes along with whom they perform actually. The devotees actually. Correct, no? So this here, the Dhritarashtra, he offended the devotees of the Lord, and he is too much materialistic. Being so much materialistic, he came to the platform of the Ashtanga itself is a mercy of Vidura actually. He recommended, if you see the instruction of this one, what is it? Vidura to Dhritarashtra, he tells, when you retired, you come out of this material affection, go and do transcendental devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he said. But because he was offended the devotees of the Lord, at least he came to the stage of this one. By the mercy of Vidura, he came to the stage of Ashtanga Yoga.
You mean to say he's offended a few devotees of the Lord? That's the reason he didn't take an opportunity to do devotional service. So just take a practical example. So we also follow some pure devotional services. For example, just an example for the context related. So we will wear dhoti, we will keep shika, we will shave our head, and we will go on roads, we will do a Krishna conscious bhajans and all. So some people in modern world, especially a cosmopolitan city like Bangalore, they see us, what these guys are doing on the roads, what the fun they are doing. Like that, people will they will do a traffic jam, they will do big speakers and all. So in that moment, there are also other people, whoever is there outside, they are offending devotees without knowledge. In this context, are we creating atmosphere automatically people to speak about this and they become automatically offended? Or how we need to take it?
Yeah.
In this case?
That is a very intelligent question. First of all, thinking, that ourselves as a devotee, that is only wrong actually. Means that we are trying to practice devotion service, and we are practicing and we try to give devotion service to others actually. Correct. Here the case in Dhritarashtra, even though they know that he was in the knowledge that Pandavas are very good and they are great devotees of the Lord. With the knowledge he had done offences. That is one thing actually. And he has done such a gross offences, both gross and subtle. He has done what not all he has done actually. He has gone such to extent that he tried to kill, he tried to take away, he tried to finish off them actually. But such kind of this one, what is that? People. So there is like we cannot transform them like this Hiranyakashipu, Kamsa. So whatever way you tell, so we cannot transform them. Lord has to come and has to kill them actually. But if we go out and practice Krishna consciousness, like there are many incidents during Prabhupada time where like yesterday our Bhatta Prabhu was telling one example actually, that one devotee, one family, they are staying beside the temple center, and they could not tolerate the devotees chanting. They could not tolerate, this one, what is that, Kirtan. They could not, they are always envious to the devotees, and they are prepared to put a bomb on the center actually.
Oh my God.
They are prepared to put a bomb on center actually. Like this, every day, one of his family members, he told, oh, we should not do, we will go and give complaint to police. And they gave complaint to police, and devotees were continuing like this. And every day they were hearing, what is that? Kirtan. They were seeing faces with tilak. One day they came to temple, just see what is going on in the temple actually. And gradually they started coming, and everybody got shocked actually. These people, came to put a bomb. Now they are coming to temple regularly. And one day they asked Mala, what is this? You are chanting. I'll also chant. Then and one day they become a temple president. One day they become a temple president. So it is there in the mind of people. Like even we also, before coming to Krishna consciousness, we were also thinking about like this. But just because they think like that, we cannot stop. They may be affecting in the beginning. Not everybody offends. So it is there, the Krishna consciousness is there in the core of heart of each and every living entities. We have to re-establish that. Already it's established. So we have to give an opportunity to re-establish that relationship with the Lord. So this is the process when you go to chant Krishna's name, distributing prasadam, distributing books. This is the process. So we should never stop just because they scold, or they, okay, one or two may be scold, but it is beneficial to many people actually. Correct? So they also transform. It takes time actually. But only some people will be there, they will never transform. Then Krishna will punish them according to, like as he punished Kamsa, then Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, like that actually. As I answered my question?
Yes. Thank you.
Yes, please.
You were telling like we are not doing commit, but we are doing devotional service. It's good, but that's not enough. So we have to come to the level of samadhi.
Yes.
So by doing devotional service, it helps us to surrender more and more.
Yes.
Right? So what is that we need to do apart from devotional service, which helps us in surrendering to come to samadhi?
I didn't understand.
We are doing devotional service, and that helps us surrender to the Lord. So, but that's not enough, is what you told.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll have to come to the level of samadhi. So what is that we need to do apart from devotional service, which helps us surrender to come to samadhi?
The simple answer is that you are doing devotion service now. As I told, now we are doing devotion service in a very part-time way. Correct, no? So if you want to come to the platform of surrendering, then we have to do more devotional service. That is the answer actually. So like suppose, first we will tell actually, you chant 1 round, then 2 rounds, then come to the platform, 16th round, then chant continuously. First, then we will tell you come to temple, come to the service. Then Sunday, morning service is allocated to one family. Sunday only their service is on Sunday. Only on Sunday actually. Then we will tell, okay, you come at Wednesday also. Wednesday, you bring chappan book to the Lord actually. Then in Tuesday you bring some garland to the Lord. Like this, now gradually we should go on increasing our devotional service. Then finally we'll come to finally our senses will purify. What will happen? The mind and senses will get purified. Then we will automatically surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Fully. So this is the process. Apart from devotion service, you should not do anything. You should do only devotion, more and more devotion service to come to the pure devotional service. That's what we have to do. Other than devotion service, there is nothing to do in this material world. There is nothing to do in this world because we have accepted some rules, responsibilities in the family life. So we may have to work for some time. But if you are good enough to maintain if you have a good enough property or facility to maintain your family life, then you are always welcome to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead actually. The center is always open and devotees are always encouraged to do devotional service more and more actually. Yeah. Yes.
So, in the context of this Prabhupada and his disciples' discussion, what they had done that punya that brought to this platform, devotional platform. So then Prabhupada replied, you are just a priest.
Yes, please.
For which Prabhupada replied, it is not Krishna or
it is not Krishna.
You had done.
No, you didn't say it is not Krishna. He says not that you have not done. Yeah, you have not done.
I have put that punya in you.
Yes.
So I couldn't understand that. Can you please elaborate that?
Yes. To come to the punya and papa, there are two things. Punya and papa. So because of papa, we suffer so much. Yeah? Because of punya, we enjoy this material facilities actually. Like good clothing, good shelter, good good wife, good children. All material activities we enjoy actually. So just because punya and papa, we cannot come to the loving service of the Lord. Loving service of the Lord. So somebody who is very merciful upon us. Somebody is very merciful upon us. They have to come and tell that this punya and papa both are suffering. Both are suffering. And you are like suppose the best example is that a child has lost in some fair. Okay? He lost their parents. So somebody will come and will child is crying. So what we have to do? Oh, if I give some chocolate, it may stop some crying. Or and again after the chocolate, the child ate, and again child maybe proper clothes is not there or toy is not there. If you give toy, then it may stop. And then again the third person comes. Third person comes and he tells that child is crying. Why he is crying? Because he lost his parents. Correct, no? So what he will do? He will not give any chocolate, or he will not try to please that child for temporary by giving temporary things actually. He will try to connect that child to the parents. Then the child will be very happy. Correct, no? In the same way, we are part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Our life is meant to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead actually. Then only we will be happy. So, because we came from the spiritual world, not to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, here we are struggling. And in the name of enjoyment and suffering, so we are bound here actually. So it is that only the agent of the Supreme Personality of Godhead can give this, can tell you that you are not a poor person where you can cry, you can you be in the material world and you are hankering for small petty happiness actually. You are meant to be happy forever. How? This is the bhakti process. He tells the bhakti process. This is punya that Prabhupada has given actually to us. Yes, I understand.
That is Prabhupada which ignited or reminded them that you are part of and parcel of the
Yes.
Lord.
He has reminded us, and he has given facilities. He facilitates us also. He has given books. He has given the knowledge. He has given shelter. He has shown the path. Everything he has done. What not he has done. He has given everything. So we should be very thankful to Srila Prabhupada. Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any questions? Mataji's. Hare Krishna. I have one question. In this particular sloka translation, Prabhupada says that senses will be purified and we will become immune to the modes and modes. Modes are three modes are immune.
Yes.
Means like I have a small doubt on this. Like the modes of material nature, it will be acting on our body, like to the gross body or subtle body. How it will act?
Yes, it's a very good question. The modes of material nature. What is the modes of material nature? Modes means how we see the things. How we see the things actually. So, but like suppose the Madhvacharya gives example, no? In the darkness, if you see the rope, then what we remember? We remember, it may be a snake. In the ignorance, so we are thinking a rope to be a snake actually. So, it is modes means how we see the things actually. So, in the ignorance, we see something else as something else. In the passion, we try to do some activities are accumulating so many things actually. Correct, no? This world is meant for enjoying, We have to accumulate more and more wealth, enjoy more sexual life. These are the things, these are the thought, this is the vision we see the world actually. But if we come to the mode of goodness, it is like come to the airport actually. It is come to the platform of knowledge, come to the airport. There you will receive a knowledge. So, but receiving only knowledge is not enough. So we have to practically apply that knowledge actually. We have to practically apply that knowledge. Then we can board the flight and we can come out of this three modes of material nature. So this is this one. What is that? This is how we can come out of this modes of material nature. What is your question?
Subtle body and gross body.
So first it will act, it is mostly acts on subtle body only, because vision, the mind has fixed in ignorance actually, in passion, or we have to train the mind to change the vision to the mode of goodness. Then the gross body acts according to the mind. Then intelligence has to be purified because of knowledge. The knowledge will come when you come to the goodness actually. So first it will act on subtle body, then subtle body will act on gross body. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।